Thank you very much, Professor Yu. Before I forget, Professor Yu mentioned I'm the PI for the precision medicine, a very important infrastructure grant. I really appreciate when I was preparing and submitting the grant, and even at the beginning of the grant period, Professor Yu was the acting president of NHRI. I really appreciate that. Without your guidance and help, your wisdom, it would not be possible. Thank you very much, Professor Yu. And first, a few responses to my dear friend Yamamoto's presentation. I'm deeply touched by his sharing with us about the big earthquake and what happened, and the generosity of town people to help the disaster area, and also our friendship. So actually our friendship, my friendship with Marcy lasts over 30 years. Marcy must remember we met at a Golden Conference in New Hampshire when I was a graduate student. We were working on the same area. So somehow life make it happen. We work both on the heme, so we know each other, where our lineage or tree, academic tree come from. And also later on we work on the data, and we work again. And lately, because of Jun Yasuda's introduction, and working on Genomic, and ever since we met at least once or maybe twice a year. Marcy has really remarkable friendship. So it's really difficult to match with very powerful and comprehensive presentation as a biochemist presented by Professor ToMMo. But I would like to switch gear to talk a little bit from a different angle, more on the population health and personal health. So my topic today is genetic diagnosis of human disease by GWAS. GWAS stands for whole genome sequence, basis of precision medicine. So I have a few disclosure here. I'll stop a few seconds so you can read it. Okay. Thanks. So it's really a good idea to stop a second to think about population versus personal. As a group, we belong to a certain population, Asian population, Taiwanese, Chinese population. We share some gene to a certain extent. But on the other hand, we want to look at our health at a personal level, at an individual level. How would these two things coincide or be reconciled? So that's interesting to think about. The first and the very best example of a population efforts to collect samples over population is UK Biobank. UK Biobank since started in 2010, and it's collect 500,000 individuals. It has made not only a great example and also significant impact on the healthcare and public health. On top of that, the UK initiated a program called Genomic England. In that program, there is about to complete the genome sequence of 100,000 genome, both for the genetic disease and the cancer. And this slide and this report actually brought to my attention by Jun Yasuda when I was visiting ToMMo. And Jun showed me, Peter, you should take a look at this. Thank you. So from this cartoon, you can see that from collecting the sample, go through the computer sequence, and the most important part is clinical interpretation. In the UK, for this project, they estimate they need 2,000 UK personnel. In 2016, the UK National Health Service NHS published an annual report. This is written by Professor Tsai Davis about the status of the Genomic England. They really want to move ahead with this genomic technology, make it available to healthcare. This is the grant scheme proposed and published by Mark Caulfield, who is the CSO of the Genomic England. So in this diagram, NHS proposed to work on rare disease, cancer, and pathogen infectious disease. On one arm, they collect biological data. On the other side, they collect clinical information. And all these are very well organized and protected behind the firewall, and with very good data integration. And with permission, these data, then the process data can then be released for clinical, academic research, for training. For UK, they allocate over 25 million pounds every year to train 700 very much needed personnel, and also for industry. So I think this is the model, and actually we have followed this model in Taiwan when we design. So NHS want to distribute these facility and technology to different shares of UK. So this is run through a GMC, Genomic Medical Centers. They said the standardization of data is a key, and what this GMC does is they under contract, they not only recruit and also analyze the data and return to the participant. I think this is a very well designed scheme to involve and to implement the technology to the people. So I have the fortune to attend a recent international summit in Hampshire, UK. From that meeting, so the Dr. Said Ismail, who is on WADA, okay, this is a good example of how a country or nation or region can actually take advantage of new technology. So in their country, they set up the biobank, they collect the whole genome information, and they train the human capacity and personnel, the medical and technical and scientific, and also they try to facilitate the research, and of course policy and regulation are very important parts of this game. And the idea is to integrate and to provide clinical benefit to people, not just for product, but they want to set aside as an example for the Arabian countries. It's a very important issue. So they have the product genome project. So back to Taiwan, we were planning this project all along with the vision and the hope we can implement technology to help health and also economics. So this is a program supported by the government. It's funded for 4 years. One of the major mandate or the purpose of the government is to facilitate the economic development and technology continuous growth of Taiwan to make this is not only a healthy and wealthy places to live. So to achieve this goal, we work closely together with the medical center and university locally and abroad. And this project is sponsored by the Ministry of Science and Technology and Healthcare. So we lay out 3 major goals to begin with. So the first is to establish a molecular and genetic diagnostic registry system for rare disease. We have made a lot of progress on this, but I'm not going to talk too much about this because my postdoctoral fellow, senior scientist, Dr. Lin Yonghong, is going to give a talk later this afternoon. We yet to learn and work closely and learn from Japan how to do 3-generation birth cohort. But at the end of the day, we hope to achieve a genetic information system for digital healthcare in Taiwan. So you can sort of get a sense this is actually designed with after the British system, of course in a much smaller scale. All right. A key component of this technology development, remember the theme for this symposium is technology development in the interest of the healthcare. We purchased 4 units of Nova 6, and I borrowed this last night from my student who's now working for Illumina. So in the Illumina pipeline, they have the smaller to big sequencers. We are interested into apply this sequencing technology to do high throughput production scale. This Illumina 6000 is quite flexible. It's good for whole genome sequence, whole exome sequence, and also transcriptome analysis. And on top, we can do data genome sequence of microbiota. This is the lab before, and then that was in print. That's in the Chinese chapters. We are coming in, we are moving in. But actually, we already moved in, and I was very happy to share this with Marcy and also my boss, vice president, yesterday. It's important to promote the technology within and outside NHRI. So we have this quarterly user group meeting to begin with. Not only technology is important, also the integration and utilize of the healthcare information is the essential part. Again, thanks to ToMMo, the meeting I went to, remember Flagship introduced Chuck Freeman, who is a professor of human health in Michigan and Albert. He proposed that in addition to genomic technology and health informatics, it's important to adopt the concept of learning health system. So the idea of this learning health system, first we would like to identify an important issue related to health. We collect the information, and from data we can generate the knowledge. Usually the professor will stop here and publish paper. What really has to make it useful is to take this knowledge and propose some action and to generate practice. And from this practice, we can then realize and analyze what the effect of this practice was useful. This should be a continuous learning cycle. So better health equals to D2K plus KPT, taken from Professor Shih-Feng. So taking this as an example, we together with an NHRI forum identify an important disease issue, which is the UTUC. UTUC stands for upper tract urothelial cancer. So it's a special form of urological cancer, 泌尿道癌症. So look at this data. This is provided by oncologists in Kaohsiung chapter. We can see that RCC, which is a typical renal cancer, I think is on RCC's group here. Okay. And the incidence of 2 types of urothelial cancer. One is bladder cancer. For bladder cancer is much well known. It's the cancer of the urothelial lining of this tissue or organ. See, what happened here is upper tract. So the cancer of the pelvis and the ureter is in the line, so it's continuing to climb. And what makes it special is that there are more, if not equal, or if not more, female. Typically, the bladder cancer is a male disease associated with cigarette smoking and so on. But we have heard friends and wives and mothers who got this UTUC. So it's a peculiar disease and important and particular in this region of the country. Again, I borrowed this slide from Dr. Su. This is the data from 2008-2009. We compare the urothelial of bladder versus the upper tract. We can see that if we look from the European or American data, the upper tract will represent only 5%, but here it's almost 30–40%. So it's a major proportion of the urological cancer. So we have to deal with this unique question, whether that due to herbal drug, which is a carcinogen that was banned earlier, was suspected to play a role, but maybe or may not be. So there may be other factors also involved. So we would like to take this. So again, this is a cartoon showing the cancer of the urological system, the kidney, RCC, the lining, the upper tract, and also the lower tract. So we are focusing not only the upper tract, and we're also interested in the lower tract as well, because the data show they may share some type of exposure, a similar mutation spectrum. Again, thanks to the spirit of collaboration with Japan, our collaborator, Dr. Urothelial, who is a surgeon or urologist, he himself, a very young scientist, actually went to Medical City at Urosaki, north of Sendai. Sendai is somewhere there, if you have it right here. Okay. Dr. Uro went to Urosaki for 2 months and to collect sample and learn the surgical experience with them. He wanted to look into the issue of UTUs, compare female with male, and also non-invasive and invasive. And importantly, we would like to see whether there's differences between Japan and Taiwan. I would like to show you some of the preliminary data I think is exciting, and I'm really happy to share with my dear friend Jim and also Nancy and other friends and also local people. I think it's a good strategy to take what I call trans-ethnic comparative genomic study. Okay, I think it should work on the population scale. All right, so for this purpose, we had a UTUC consortium. The consortium will have a working group meeting tomorrow morning, so it's a good time to have meeting in Kaohsiung. So this is the cases we collected from Taipei and Kaohsiung and also Japan. So we can compare whether there's difference between north and south of Taiwan. We not only do SNP array, also we conduct whole genome sequencing. So I would truly believe whole genome sequencing is a very powerful way to conduct research. Okay. So this is the data from Taiwan. So we sequence 10 genome from the southern part of Taiwan. And on this chart, this is a notable pathogenic mutation. This is taken by whole genome sequencing. So we have 5 mutations on this KDN6A. We have 3 in this. Actually, I apologize. This got cut off on the left-hand from TP53. So these are the important mutations. Very interesting. There's a particular hotspot mutation occurring in 4 cases, 4 out of 10. And this is the data from Japan. It's just came out. So we have 8 cases taken back from Urosaki, and we see 2 mutations. One is ARD1A, the other is FGFR3. Again, interestingly, FGFR3 in the recent ASCO meeting, oncology meeting, there's a new topic drug available to FGFR3 mutation. This is a comparison of the mutation spectrum hotspot of Taiwan and Japan. KDN6A, KMT2D, KMT2C are these genes encode protein for epigenetic modification and derivation. To me, at least, is striking out is it appears to be more on this side, on the Taiwan side, not seen in Japan. I think this is a preliminary, small scale, but we would like to go into whether this epigenetic modifier gene reflect some environmental factors. We need to do more. But FGFR3 is one common gene. So for this part, also in Taiwan, we seem to see a different spectrum of mutation growth. Some are very low, like that. So this diagram shows by whole genome sequence, we can actually calculate the mutation growth and the neoantigen changes. So perhaps we can predict these cases will respond better to immunotherapy. Those cases carry more mutation. So to summarize this trans-ASIC comparative genomic study from the preliminary data, we see generally the mutation profile and tumor mutation load burden in Japan are different from those in the UT of Taiwan. Whether it's true and what has been in more work. And FGFR3 is a commonly affected gene, and they have drug become available, so maybe future we can stratify the patient based on this calculation and be on top of mutation load. So these are the potential clinical significance. So the rest of the compound plan will have. So in the remaining 8 minutes, I would like to shift gear from population scale to personalized scale. And then from Marcy, we have to behave, discipline, and to share. I really learn every time many things scientifically and also personally from Marcy. Right. So I would like to talk about whole genome sequence for genetic surgery, the challenge and opportunity. With this powerful sequencing system, we first established Taiwan Rare Disease Network collaborating with the patient advocates and also the Professional Health Human Genetic Society with the funding agency. Dr. Yong Peng will talk more about this, and we're really excited about the very fast progress, and we're able to collaborate with the best doctors for each category of the disease. For example, immunodeficiency with Linko Tangke, for epilepsy with Dr. Liu from Veteran General Hospital, and so on. So this program is moving, but we have to stop because we need to rethink about what's the best strategy to provide support. But overall, this is going very, very well. I'll give you 2 cases as an example. The first one is a familial dementia with a rapid deterioration. This is a 55 years old lady. The brain image showed that there's evidence of frontotemporal dementia, FTD, which is consistent with the symptom of inadequate social behavior. So her husband is very concerned about whether or not any of the 2 sons might be affected. So this is the pedigree, Alice, and also Paul. So I actually interviewed patient, the husband, and talked to some of the family members. So Paul is very concerned about his son. So by whole genome sequencing, we were able to identify mutation in the NNPT, this is the position. So in this center sequencing, we confirm what's the finding. Alice has a mutation on this position, changing C to T from blue to red. So that's a disease causing. So she has a disease onset of 52, and now 55. There are 22 family registered worldwide natural history. And it's very well known, documented that by 60, she probably will not be able to live. So that's a powerful or big data. So this is the control. So elder son got the same mutation. So in the next 20, 30 years, he might develop this disease. So that create a difficult situation fortunately, this family is very hopeful. They trust us and they believe that research will advance. So maybe in the next 30 years before the age of onset, there might be some treatment available. And the younger son doesn't have to worry. So the case number 2, a graduate student told Dr. Kang and myself, that her family has multiple cases with different type of cancer, and she decided this is a very wonderful situation. She's strongly motivated. She's not only doing master grad student, and she decided to move on to take a PhD as a PhD student. So of course I got her permission to share with you this story. She decided to conduct research to find out what's happening in her family without the intention to know that she might know the result of herself. So we didn't think about we would move that fast. We were not confident enough to predict that, to know that we were able to find the gene and predict. So this is the case. This is the pedigree. So this multiple cancer, mostly endometrial cancers, these 3. And this is the mom. This is the graduate. This is her auntie. So a very clever Dr. Lin Yongtong designed a study design. So we sequenced 3 affected individuals and 1 non-affected individual. So without going to this analytic pipeline, so we sequenced 3 and we were able to compare with this healthy individual. We were able to find information about this possible mutation, and with the help of the tag biobank, we know which variant. So remember now, we are talking about germline mutation, not somatic mutation. A mutation in your gene when you are born that predict you will have a cancer risk. So that's a different story from the cancer profile. So having this tag information and haplotype information is very important. So this is work done by Yongtong. So we were able to collect information from CBio portal. Again, this is a worldwide database. It's important to share data. Not only we can learn, we can contribute as well. So from this CBio portal, and this is the overall data. You can see that we can see that KMT2D is an important gene with epigenetic modification. And among the uterine cancer gene, KMT2D also stand out. Most importantly, we can also learn about these variant frequencies in Taiwan. The minor allele frequencies of this particular spot is 0.5, for this is 1.5. So what does it mean? We seem to see that, especially if we look at the CBio portal, whenever there's a mutation on this gene, there's a mutation on that. So a certain percentage of these cases have co-occurrence of these 2 genes. How these 2 proteins interact molecularly, we have just have to learn. So, but genetic, I'm trying to geneticists, these 2 genes are next door. Okay. And one has this mutant allele, which is 0.5% of Taiwan, and this variant is 1.5% of this population. So the chances to have this is not that high. So it will be consistent with the incidence of endometrial cancer. By the way, endometrial cancer worldwide is increasing in the past few years. All right, so we conduct, actually my students and my team, Yongtong, conduct this haplotype analysis to show that these affected individuals, they are big. So then we did one step which surprised me. One day, the students and the team told me that they actually did a haplotype analysis. Now it's able to predict whether these students actually carry this affected. Yes, indeed she has this, so likely she might have endometrial cancer. That's a big shock to her. We were able to talk to her in a positive way. First, the endometrial cancer usually occurs at the age of 40 or 50. If you know your risk, you can plan your life. Okay, you can marry, children, and then have the uterus removed. Get rid of the troublemaker. Uterus is a very important organ for the world. Okay, but sometimes when it's a disease, it's easy to handle this. And then I actually talked to her after I knew that she's affected. So I told her, and you were the right person to get this gene. Now you are motivated. You are better positioned to be an active individual than your cousin. Okay. If your cousin had this, she probably wouldn't know what to do. But if you have this disease now become a positive energy or motivation for you to handle and help many people. So she shared with me that her mother and her auntie actually comfort her that said, don't worry, I'm fine. Okay. Especially now on your risk. So I think this is a good story that we can turn this genetic risk in a positive way. I think it is important for me to think and us to think about the co-occurrence of these two bearing appeal, whether that we can predict the risk of endometrial in this area. For a long time, we begin to work on rare cancer, rare disease, including cancer. Dr. Lee is to tell you more about what we have done with the rare disease using the whole genome. We would like to work on not so rare disease, for example, epilepsy, and developmental delay, which is an important disease to work on. And long term, 2020 and beyond, we think that, I truly believe that whole genome sequencing information should be made available as an important information for lifetime healthcare management. This is possible because this is an information age. People willing to speak out and share their experience. This is a letter written by Angelina Jolie to the New York Times sharing about her experience with the BRCA mutation, breast cancer in her family, and how she dealt with this condition in a positive way. I was invited to many meetings. For example, this is the one organized by Hsinchu Science Park. I believe Vicky was there as well. So we would like to encourage well-educated, economically proficient people to begin to learn about the power of the whole genome information, what can be used. One word of caution is whether we are ready for this. Many pharmaceutical companies, including Roche, become aware of this trend, so they are investing on so-called personal health care. This week, Wednesday, I was invited as a representative for the government and academia to talk about the potential issue and how real it is, whether the personal health care and precision medicine is possible from a different country and area. And these are some of the key outlines we discussed. So I won't read through. The first one is the poor patient knowledge may be a hurdle. Insufficient expertise in precision medicine among healthcare professionals. We are short of many types of doctors, counselors, communicators, and so on. Lack of healthcare infrastructure to patient access, low ability or willingness to pay. So who is going to pay? By the insurance company or by the individual or by the country? That's a lot of issues. Even though this is good for, and also the regulatory and access issue. And also we don't have a good structure to collect real world data. From my point of view, I make it simple for myself. So I'm a researcher and an academic person working for the government. So we have to think about, can we predict the disease risk accurately? Whether this test or this finding is static, that's very important. Can we afford, can we offer solution? Can we help the patient? If we provide this of prediction, and can we do more? Can we handle more? How many can we handle? So that's become a social economic issue. From the patient and consumer point of view, patient who has a disease need a good medicine to treat for certain cancer, that's one side. On the future patient, individual who might have this, one day I will become dementia like my mother, or I might have a colon cancer like my father. So I'm a future patient, the current consumer. Do I need to know? How do I use this information? How can I handle the condition if I have certain disease, like the example I showed you for case 2, endometrial cancer. We want to start small and focus, and this is a very encouraged development actually put up by a very young Pedigree PhD. He's a junior faculty at Genomic. He's on the 7th floor above us. He's belongs to the brain science. I hope my Japanese friend can also read these chapters. Okay. In our affiliate hospital, Taipei Veterinary General, they have a very strong neurogenetics. Also, they have the best neurosurgery for epilepsy. 80% of the cases, medical resistant that can be treated by surgery is done in Taipei Veterinary General Hospital. Dr. Tsai, he just recently published a paper in Nature Communication about brain cell migration. So he himself put up this diagram for me. I'm really excited that young faculty can have this vision. He would like to utilize this genomic information for research and for clinical study. I think it's a good opportunity for the genetics that we need to be cautious. Okay? So using next generation sequencing and bioinformatics, we should be able to identify disease that cause rare genetic disease. You'll hear more again in the afternoon. We can make molecular diagnosis possible. We can decrease ineffective treatment. We can improve disease management, identify potential therapy by, in the case of cancer. In the genetic disease, if the parents want to have another baby, prenatal genetic counseling is possible with this definitive genetic diagnosis. On top, we can conduct a lot of good study by which we can train more future physician scientists. I think it's not that easy. Like Marcy Yamamoto set a good example. Also, we can facilitate the pharmaceutical development in Taiwan. I will stop here, but I would like to thank the people who made a contribution, all the hospitals and patients who donate, and our technical team, and Dr. Ken Wu's lab, and the UTUC consortium led by Dr. Paul Zhang. He's the organizer of this meeting. Taiwan Human Genetics, I mentioned about it. These are important part of the TRD, Taiwan Rare Disease Network, National Young Indian Genome Center, and also the National Center for High Performance Computing. I will stop here and take any questions if you have. Thank you.